You are live now. Yeah. Okay, I shall be back. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to Finger Snaps and Voice Conversations. Y'all know I always look at somebody's mom when I'm doing this. In a second, I'll be right back. In the meantime, hang out with some mom. Frequency 592. This sounds like. Do you like glass? Would you like a glass? Yeah. Wine? Okay. Yes. Cute little wine glasses. Mine's fucking with me all day. Oh. So Lynetta, being the gracious host that she is, got me some cute tips. Let's see if I use my eye drops. Whew. Whew. That's going to be happening multiple times today. Multiple times. Because, yeah, this hurts. Ooh, feel like sandpaper on my face, y'all. Oh man, I was watching this one earlier. Today. The volume turned down. I know less than 4 people in here. Oh my god, y'all can see my gigantic. I can see my big old purse. She she made me some Liberian food and I wanna go see. I wanna go see. Oh she this is wait, hold on. Oh man, the quality is so good. If y'all in here, hello, hi. I'm Famatta, aka Sunshine, when I'm on the stage doing my thing. Just cause, yeah, hopefully she asked me that. Cause I'll tell her that later. I'll tell her that later. Okay. See, I don't need to touch my phone on camera. Put this little gloss in. This pocket right here. See, you know how they be like, we love pockets. And do, and do, and do love a pocket. What I will do, oh, I thought I forgot it for a second. I'm upset. Make sure. Hey, hey, watch yourself. Make sure it was charged. She stepped out for a second. She just got some stuff. Oh, okay. All right, thank you. No problem. walk in front of the camera. What was that?
Just look in here because I.
No, it's not. It's not an open situation.
No, I'm saying like well, not an open situation. Is it a situation where it's gonna be people coming for you?
She's the only person I told you.
Oh, okay.
She's her.
Okay.
That's it.
Because I was gonna unlock the restroom door just in case.
It's for her.
All right.
Thank you.
If y'all need to use the restroom, let me know.
Okay, so here's the lunch. We got rice. Yeah, it's my friend. I went over I opened the top. Oh, that's really good. So we got my fried corn here. Fried corn. On the fried corn, we have a lot. Okay. Also take this rice. I'm gonna bring the chicken dish down. Okay. And then we're ready to go. There's some punch on our glasses. Or our real glass. So, plantain, the store did not, y'all, the store didn't have them. The plantains were not right. Yes. They were green. So, yeah, I'll bring the chicken dish back and we're going to grab, get it, dig in, and see what's going on, right? I love it. Yes. Look for me. Man, cooked Liberian food for me. Like what? I'm using my nails like tweezers. I'm just on here to put some music on. My favorite song right now. Oh wait. I don't think I'm allowed to. I could play that, but you know. Click that symphony by Ray. It's live right now, but we haven't started the conversation yet. I can't conquer leaving this house. I eat some scrolling up, but it has to be more than just existing. Thinking this out in the phone and the switch to what this week was getting fixed for something and then get it. I mean, I go my girls to 7 as a way to make a try to make a time and then just in the call out, in the call out. Going on my body, swimming, it's about to go down. Click, 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 clack. Symphony, I need that. Click, 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 clack. Symphony, I love the sound of it. I did, darling. She's in trouble by the sound of us marching. And I like so happy, but I'm happy so arching. And the summer of because it's going to be all right. I guess I'll start my moving tears go green. I should try to look at how you can pass some auditions because the way I feel is so complete. I'm feeling lonely. So let me tell you what happens. Sense of a cold. Because that's before depression on a Friday night. I need a pep talk. I need a hug. I need a natural. A good one of life. I need to get out the house. One day start living in music. Okay, baby. Hello. Send a call out, send a call out. Calling on my body, swimming, it's about to go down. Click, 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 clack. Symphony, I need that. Click, 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 clack. Symphony, I love the sound of it. I did, darling. She can now by the top of us. Her legs are hurting, but her head is in poetry. And it's all right because it's all to me. Jesus, she needs a hug, she needs a dance floor. She's got one little life, she needs to get out of the house. That is a better celebrate. Hey, it's who says how you doing? How you doing? So she stepped back into darkness she had hoped by now to have overcome. She had learned a beautiful lesson as she kissed her girls goodbye and thanked them for getting her out the house. That maybe everything was going to be alright. You are, man. I don't know pretty wine. I don't like wine. I like this sweet bread. I'll put the others. I'm gonna run it in my glass. I thought I was gonna make one shred, but it was which is like good and yeah, so yes. Oh yes, look at you. So I don't know if you want plate or bowl, so here's that, right? Rice buttons that I said, yes. And then these little plates for and the little for plates and cups and little forks for the little. But yeah, so dig in, I'll be right back. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Ooh, it smells good. It would smell good as hell. Smell good as hell. Ooh, just orange. Ooh. And I wish my mom could smell this right now. I wish I gotta take a picture for her and show her. Oh my eyes hurt so bad. She made
finna get into this good Liberian food right now, okay?
Yeah, about to do just that. It smells so good. Like, so good.
Okay, I'm gonna make something for my sister. He is nice. He actually does poetry as well.
Okay. I walked in and he said, "Are you from Famatta?" I said, "Yes."
I mean, yeah.
And even like the people outside were so kind. He said, "Hey, you can be somewhere."
They so sweet, right?
You know when things just kind of reaffirm you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just reaffirms you.
Yes. I'm excited to try. I mean, I did definitely taste it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to like.
I see my mom a picture. I'm like, "Mom, look at this."
Oh, the spread. Yes. What she say?
She didn't respond yet.
So I love to cook.
Yeah.
So welcome to Week Casa, guys. So this is what happens on Finger Snacks and Poetry Chats, Couch Conversations. Famatta, the Liberian poet. I love to cook. I'm also Serve Safe certified. So I love to explore in the kitchen. It's definitely like very nostalgic for me, tranquil. It is really something that I truly, truly enjoy. So with her being from Liberia, she's talking about this gravy, and I went and looked like, okay, so there was a traditional gravy that was like a staple to the culture. So I've tried to mimic that. So we're gonna see what she thinks about it today. I tasted it. It was really, really good. But you know,
It smells
good to me. Good is good. But we'll see. I'm gonna bring this bowl up close. I'm making a bowl for my security. Always, yeah, gotta take care of people who say you can't do that. So, I don't even know if y'all can see this right. Hopefully y'all can. Look, we got some turmeric rice with chicken, with a Liberian gravy, with some fried corn, some black beans and shallots and garlic. Of course, the fried corn has like peppers, onions, garlic. We got some sugar in there. We got a little bit of spice going on. So yeah, welcome to my world. Is it? You're not saying anything. The food is good. You're not talking. It's good. So have a seat on the couch. Go ahead and have a seat. I'm gonna take this to security. And then we're right.
Always take care of my people. Especially with the beans. We see my mom responded. She said, "Looking good." She said, "Looking good." I know my mom is so proud of me. Also, so I sent her the link to watch as well.
Ready, we can take this and get started.
Yes, it's chicken. It's rice. No, it's very simple. I'm gonna try not to complain about the hotel. I feel good about it. I love chicken. I'm gonna turn into a chicken. Okay.
kids' minds off because you know, like the mom, she's like never eats right after she cooks, but today we gonna eat because and I'm excited for this new dish that I tried. And Famatta done told me, she's straight Asian, so it's definitely good. It's definitely good.
It's good with all the things, everything you need to do. And I'm telling you, the black beans with it. I love beans. I love beans and rice.
I do too.
And like honestly, because rice is such a staple thing, you know, like you eat it repeatedly, you get tired of it, right? So
It
you
doesn't
said
have
you're
to
gonna
make
make like
like
very people. I was like, okay, I'm actually excited. Like I haven't eaten rice in a couple weeks now because I'm like, rice is always available, but I'm grateful.
Yes. What? I'm excited.
Yeah.
Look, she done made her a bowl, y'all.
Yeah.
So I don't really like my food texture, but this is nice, you know.
I'm the same way. That's why I'm like, I can't get a plate because if anything touch anything else, I
I'm
ain't
really
gonna
like.
do it no more.
So how's your day today?
It was a good day, honestly. I went to work this morning. I mean, like besides like what I'm taking on, everything else has been really good. I'm grateful. Like I work with these different kids today, and I mean, I know them from the building, but I don't really be around them too much. I don't know their programs, but they work really well for me. They listen to me. I listen to them. When I don't be just like, he'll just come over and just sit on my lap, and just do whatever you want with my body like a little puppet.
So you work with younger children, right?
Yeah, I work with autistic kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there for a while. But yeah, autistic kids. Once a year. Some days I work later. Some days, like today and Friday, I was working till 2:30.
So like, what's your main role with this?
I
feel like I lost my question, y'all.
What we do. So my title is a behavioral therapist, right? A registered behavioral therapist. And we work on their treatment goals and things like that. That might be in their IEP, their behavior plans. So it could be social skills, it could be daily living skills, just depending on their level, right? So the main kid I have right now, like day to day, she works a lot on coping skills, attempting to whatever you're asking her to do. Like if it's a worksheet at her table, could be working on that, trying to focus on that coping skills because she's extremely emotional and she fixates on things. So you're kind of like stuck in that cycle. To me, that's one of the hardest things to work with is people who kind of fixate because there's literally nothing you can do about it. It's all in their head, and we can try to like build a visual schedule for her and so on and so forth, and she still has to choose to look at it, you know, to work with her own understanding. This comes next, this and this and this, and that's when you get the main thing that you're focused on. But that's the tough, one of the tougher things to work with. But yeah.
I can totally see that being tough. I mean, like me myself as an individual person, I think just going through life and trauma and certain situations, it's like I have been fixated on certain things. You know, like for instance, I did a lot of shadow work with, you know, like my childhood and trauma like that, right? But, you know, there was a lot of fixation. I guess when you're going through that, maybe it's not something that you actually realize.
Right.
You're not consciously thinking that I'm fixated on this. I mean, I think, you know, when you become mature in life and spirituality and things of that nature,
Yeah.
you understand the value of your thoughts and what you feed yourself. So when you fixate on just something that is negative or that's hurtful, that's brought you down, you know, that's definitely going to affect your life.
Yeah.
In a negative way. So I can totally see that. Just like I said, myself as an adult having to work through such problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sorry to
No, you go ahead.
So
What's your interview go?
It's so crazy, but like, so the reason I say like fixation is really hard for me is because when I first started working with any type of developmental delay, disability with people, lady go around her room with a carpet sock on a carpet floor, trying to pick up all the lint on the floor.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's a forest voice. There's going to be more lint on the floor. There's nothing I could do. She did it for an hour. And I was so sad for her, but she knew at some point she was going to be done with that. There was nothing I could do about it. So when you say, like, we kind of get fixated on things as adults and then not doing that work on yourself, it makes me think, like, when you have negative thoughts, and those negative thoughts are easier to feed and spiral down, and it's harder to be like, oh, everything's going to be okay. Because I had to do it even today in the shower when I was getting ready, because I'm just like, Famatta, all this, you just feeling all this stuff today, all this is happening, stressing. Then I'm like, no, you're grateful. Every day past anything that you thought you wouldn't make it is something to celebrate. So then I just like was getting into the rhythm and was like, okay, girl, now let's keep that pushing. And yeah.
And it's always that pushback when you're on the right track. It's always that, that negative force that's trying to come that you have to combat, So I love that. I love how you just fought through today. I know you told me about your eyes. You were like, having like an issue with that. So I'm happy. Yeah. So I'm happy. What I love about the couch conversations, I don't do them often, probably like every 3 months. So this is the second one. So hey, if you're here, I'm happy that you're here. You're welcome. So the first one I had more than one person.
When I watched it, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that it's really important in having these conversations, because I am inviting you guys into my home, to my space, But I thought about making it just a bit more personable. You know what I'm saying? And for me, doing Figure Signs and Poetry Chats for a little over a year now, so I'm still kind of like trial and error with certain things. This is a business for me, and with any new business, the first 5 years are the thing, and I'm figuring out what hits, what misses, what sticks, and what doesn't. But I used to have a radio show called The Swirl.
Okay.
And you guys can look that up on YouTube too, The Swirl, Miss Netta, MSNetta, The Swirl. These are old shows. These are like over 10 years ago. But the one thing about The Swirl is I did one-on-one interviews, and people always were like, you made me feel so comfortable. And yeah, I could just talk to you about anything, tell you my whole life. So I love that energy, but I also love, the value of the resources that I'm able to draw out just that one person that I'm sitting and have a conversation with, and also getting to know you. See, this is a little different platform than The Swirl was.
Right.
So I'm loving the poetry, the writing, the healing. Because if you're watching this on my YouTube, this is a channel of healing. So this is all about the healing journey. And poetry is a very significant and dear to me on my healing journey. Healing is a continuous journey, so it's not something that you just I'm hurt, what this happened, and then I heal, and then okay, life goes on, because there's always going to be something that happens that you need to heal from. There's triggers. You get to know yourself, like over and over again, like you change and evolve as a person. So I think it's really important to test things out, So with that being said, what parts of the Liberian culture do you feel responsible for preserving and amplifying in your work?
So I thought about this, and it made me think like a lot of my writing is about like me, and it is my healing thing. But I do tend to try to look at the perspective of the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's trying to give another perspective about the person and the people who were my upbringing, right? So a big part of for me is connection, and I think that in our culture is pivotal, is needed, and when there's this, discord and dissonance and everything like that, then I can feel it, and I can feel that I don't write as much when I'm not connected to anything. So I think that part of our culture is what I need to focus in on more and try to give more of this perspective. Like the workshop we went to, and then we're talking about, the lady was talking about her home life and how sometimes we don't put their side of it in there, kind of give this one view of these people, but that's not who they are and how they are for us even. So I think that that's going to be something that I continue to work on when I write.
I love that. So shout out to Diversus Poetry, for the workshop, the Ohio Poetry Association. They're doing great things over there. Jeff over at the stances. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Yeah, big shout out to them. Love that. That actually was a point. I actually made the comment like, hey, this has inspired me, to I never think about that, to write that from their perspective. Again, going back to me having dealt with like childhood trauma and things of that nature. These are things that I've had to let go of.
Right.
But you only think about certain things sometimes from your perspective, your hurt, your pain. People often do this in relationships.
Specifically when it's hurting you. Like, you're going to just be like, well, you're not going to, but it's easier to just to focus on your pain and your side of the story. But that's not life. That's not how everything goes. Everything is there's a middle ground.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's like that gray area sometimes that we don't want to address, or those things that we sweep under the rug, or that but yeah, okay, but this was still worse, but it's still all these factors that play in. I was watching an interview the other day with an acquaintance of mine, and what I loved about the interview is I can't remember his name. He's a guy that plays in the NBA or played in the NBA with KD or whatever, and he like had mental issues or what have you. But during this interview, when he was speaking about his mom, he was like, Mama, that she didn't know that I needed it at the time, so she was more this way. But I love the way that he referred to his mother and her. She didn't know. She wasn't aware.
yeah.
Rather than being like, I needed this and I didn't get it because my mom failed to provide that for me. He recognized, even in them saying that he had so many mental health issues, he recognized that no, there was something that she lacked, and she can only give me what she had,
Right.
and what resources were available to her, what she had the mental capacity to deal with. So I love that. So yeah, to look at it from other people's perspective is a beautiful thing. I think that makes the world a much merrier place. It's empathetic. We understand people.
And lately, I've been having more conversations with my mom about her upbringing, and she's told us a lot over the years, but more so about the Civil Wars and coming to America and raising us and so on and so forth. And I knew a lot about that, but I think that I'm paying more attention to what she tells me about her growing up and her coming of age and the issues with her father and losing her. So many things that she's telling me, and I'm literally like ingesting it, and it's very inspiring, but it also kind of feels like there's like a generational trauma happening here, and it's not even something that she's intending to put upon us because how could she have known, So it's really inspiring me to write something about her. So, Mommy, if you watch it, it's a coming.
I love that. So what you saying, like, how does that make you feel? When do you feel like there's a responsibility there to like at some point say to her like, hey, this is not your trauma, this is not your fault. We can do things a better way. We can go about life a different way.
As I'm trying to get out of the blaming, because I'm not going to say I'm fully out of it. As I'm getting out of it, I have had conversations with her, and we had a really tough conversation a while ago. And like a couple years ago, and we were in a very bad place. But even then, I told her, I'm like, I don't fault you. I understand to a degree, and me being the person that I am, I didn't want to cause any more trouble for you. I didn't want to cause any more harm to you. And when I look back on how it came across, it was very selfish how I worded it. But I think she understands that I love her with my whole spirit. So there is a responsibility when I talk to her about the things that I'm passionate about. And when she tells me about the decisions that she's made and how it affected us growing up as as well. So I think that we're at a good place with how we communicate, and it just is warms my heart because I got that off my shoulder, and I felt like the world opened up to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, ooh, I was never intending on having this really tough conversation with you, but I'm glad that we did because I know one, I still love you regardless. Two, you still love me regardless, and you're my mommy. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
what's been
awesome.
happening.
That's awesome. So, do you need some more chicken? Do you need to get a refill of anything? Do you
So
need to
this
get off the
I
couch?
want to eat this chicken like how I eat chicken.
You don't have to eat chicken, girl.
Cause yeah, we get down to the cartilage, okay? And and I'm just like, you keeping the cue, Famatta.
Listen, if it was one thing I can get in the kitchen, okay? I would definitely do that.
Man, this chicken is falling off the bone. The rice is good, strong. The beans is busting. And
No, why she not married? I don't know why she not married.
I'm playing. It's time to just sit down a little bit. So I'm going to sit down somewhere. I said, all right, man. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes.
I stay out of people's son's face and they got to stay out of mine. Please, thank you.
Okay. You hear that?
Out of everybody's face. Everybody. All of them in between, too. Yep. Everybody said sit out somewhere.
I know. Everybody. Like, I know it gets ridiculous out here. You just never know.
Yeah. And I just, like, recently started giving out my number again. And I'm just like, why do that? Why did I do that? Because now you're going to irritate me on my own phone. And I just kind of regret it already.
So I barely give my number out. You know, I used to be referred to as like a mean girl, and I think now I'm like act way too friendly. So now I think I'm going back to like mean. And why comment, guys? I'm gonna see it later. Listen, why do you guys like mean girls?
They love it.
When we're mean to you, you're like responsive, you do all the things. Nice to you, it's like a doormat. You want to walk over it. Ooh, I'm coming back. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I was telling one of my exes, like, we was in the middle of an argument, and this is something I learned from my past relationship, like my longest relationship, that I started yelling at when I was upset. And I don't like to yell at people. I don't like to yell, period. But then I started yelling at him, and I'm just like, look, who was this person I'm turning into? So then we got out of that, and I'm like, I need to work on that. Like, so when I start yelling at anybody in any regard, I immediately stop myself and apologize. And even if it's like, it doesn't happen to me, that's the first thing I apologize for, because how I speak to you is how you receive me, right? And I was talking to him one day, I just realized my voice was getting louder and louder and louder, and he started smiling. I'm like, I said, who hurt you? Why do you like that? I don't like that you want me to yell at you, because I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to sit here arguing with you all the time, raising my voice, raising my blood temperature, and being stressed out all day because now I'm thinking like, oh, he want me to be mad at him.
Yeah.
But then when I'm mad, I'm quiet. Oh, you being weird. No, I'm just upset and I'm being safe, like not toxic.
Yeah. I think sometimes narcissistic people who have been hurt or, you know, who have had a certain type of upbringing, arguments or drama is like their only way for them to really see love or feel love. Mm-hmm. So yeah, gotta be careful.
Be very careful. He's a good friend, but that's not something I want to change about myself anymore. I know that I don't like yelling at people. I know that I don't like people who yell at me. So of the boundaries that I do enforce, that's a strict.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk to each other any type of way.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm learning that. I'm glad that I'm able to really enforce that. And I can hold myself accountable to it too. And I hope people also hold me accountable. And I can respect, like, even if I apologize to you, if I've spoken to you in type of way, it is then your decision to decide if you want to still rock with me, right? Because if I disrespected you, you're not my force still in my life.
Yeah.
So, and I hold people to the same standard.
Yeah. You know, I used to, again, be real mean. and it used to be like a thing where I was right, but the way I said it was so like cutthroat.
Okay.
I never remember I had a friend, me and her were really, really good friends, and it was something that was happening, and like as her friend, I was like, well, let me tell you something. You need to blah 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 blah, and if you was doing this, your home life would be da 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 da. Right, listen, and she like hit me up the next day and was like, "You're absolutely right. I'm taking heed to everything you said," but she was like, "I can't be friends with you no more because you really hurt my feelings. You made me feel so small, and even though you were right, I just feel like so small in your presence now." I couldn't believe that. So you have to be careful the way that you speak to
How did you
people.
respond to that when she told you that she couldn't be cool with you or this is something that you care about?
Yeah, so I was in my 20s. So it was a thing for me where initially, I'm to the core a sweet person. So I was so apologetic, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you know what I'm saying? But I had that defense. Like, but you did this, you made me feel like this, and I feel like you needed to be told the truth. And it was the truth. So my response wasn't the maturest. You know what I'm saying? So I was that person who came back like a day later and apologized, right? But again, she was very receptive to the apology, but it was like,
She still stood on that.
mm.
That hurts. I hate one of the biggest fears for me, and this is something I'm still learning to realize is that you're gonna lose people. Is I can't stand losing somebody that I care about. Like being my fault or their fault or whatever, right? Because we'll talk about there's always that gray area. Whatever happens, I don't like to lose you because I care about you. I'm still gonna hold a place for you in my heart. So that's why I was wondering. I'm like, because you have that perspective now, right? And sometimes I'm just like, okay, should I still reach out to Famatta? Just let them do it up.
Yeah, you have to let it go. One thing that I've learned too, the value of the cliche phrase, reasons, seasons, and lifetimes, right? Because ultimately, that probably was just more so of a lesson for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why we had the spat or the words that we had in the first place is because our lifestyles did not align. You know what I'm saying? So although that was a lesson for me, she probably learned a valuable lesson as well, and we're okay going our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? We didn't lose anything, we didn't gain anything, but a lesson, a life lesson, right?
Yeah.
One that I carry with me. So I learned how to speak to people, not even people that I cared about, but people in general better. Because this was like in my 20s, right?
Yeah.
So again, and then it was a time where I was like trying to be like a better person, be like whatever. So yeah, it was a pivotal point in my life. I had to realize that my attitude and the way that I spoke to people was not cool all the time. You know what I'm saying? But it also shaped me and developed the way that I process emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because when you lash out on somebody or when you talk to somebody a certain way, it's because you're feeling emotion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so whatever that default setting is, you go into that. So I had to change my default setting to something different. Yeah, and it took some work. It was not just like overnight.
Yeah. I'm much right there. It's definitely not overnight because what I'm learning is like boundaries, right? And that it's a two-way street because if they gonna be here, you gonna be there, or whatever happens. You gotta really stand on that boundary. Like I said, the main boundary that I set right now is how people speak to me. But I'm also learning like to not let myself be overly used,
So speaking of that, what does your writing process look like? And are you disciplined or do you follow feelings? Since we're talking about our feelings right now.
I am not really a disciplined writer, in the sense that I don't write every day. if I hit a roadblock in my, in that piece that I'm working on, I stop and I let it sit until it comes to me or until I can flow with it how it's supposed to. I don't really follow. The only poetry format that I follow are haikus. Like those are the ones that I really love haikus. But besides that, I kind of just go with whatever is inside of me at the moment and get it out. Or if I feel like there's a story waiting to be told, then I'll let that I'll let that flow as well how it's supposed to be. And I don't force it.
Good. So that brings me to my next question. That's a good segue right into that.
Okay.
So in your poetry, like, so clearly you answer that perfectly. So you're more of a feeling poet when you're writing. That's how you approach your writing. So, and your delivery, do you find yourself to be more of a storyteller, more of a healer, or something else?
I think I can be a bit of both.
Okay.
Because I was going through some of the things that I've written that are newer and I'm proud of, and I'm just like, I can see how people can get the story feeling from me. But my thing when I'm writing it is, I know where it's coming from inside of me. I know that it's coming from like I wrote a Medusa piece, and it's coming from like the strength of Black women. And like I'm really finding that strength, and I'm not letting anybody tell my story.
Yeah.
I wrote one about love or lust, and it came from a relationship that I had with somebody that I couldn't tell what you were really feeling for me. Your words were saying, "Oh, I love you," but your actions were not showing that at all. But then, and it was a bruising piece, so I'm just like, I can see that you appreciate me, but this is what it's giving, and it's told as like a tale from a different perspective. So I think I could be a bit of both. And then the healing, I hope that this is not something I've considered before, but I do tell it to be true. But I hope that if someone hears something that I've written, that it can help them think about a situation that they're in or something that they're processing and kind of give it fresh eyes. And if that heals you, I'm grateful for it. So, yeah, but I think I'm mostly a storyteller and feelings person.
Okay, I love that. I love that. You have to know like where you feel like you stand, because I think a lot of times poetry is not just for our poetry, especially when we're sharing it. It's not just for us. It is for our audience. So it's very important for us to know like our lane and what that looks like. And although you are a storyteller, I feel like those stories can be very healing because obviously that's what you're working for. So yeah. You have very beautiful imagery. So like tell us about that. Like when you're writing, like how do you find the imagery? So for me, I'm a very raw writer. Like I really write down my feelings, and then when I go back through the editing process, I add more imagery. So, do you approach it that way, or is the imagery like already there right off the bat for you?
For the most part, the image is there, right? And it kind of goes off of what I've got already. So let's go back to the Medusa one, right? There was a point of it where I was kind of getting towards the end of it, and I had this line that I'm like, this needs to be included, but it doesn't flow right. So I stopped there until I could get it how it's supposed to be, to kind of get that feel of this is what it is to be a woman who has to stand up for herself. But at the same time, I'm not the monster you painted me to be. So I wanted to give that moment, like to capture that moment of someone just kind of like standing up for themselves. So I hope that answers that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I do also think my comfort spaces, which are nature. I love to be in nature, just kind of walking around in the woods somewhere with sticks. And that's where I place myself sometimes. And that peaceful place kind of gives me more like to think about. That imagination can flow better.
Yeah, you're more that it has to feel right, so the imagery details have to be there, or this is the I can't even write this.
Or I can get it out.
Yeah. So you totally answer that. I totally get that. So I understand that. Absolutely. So you kind of touched on this, but not really, because you kind of talked about personal situations situations and you writing about them, right? So, what truths are you brave enough to say in your poetry that you might not say out loud otherwise? So, like, your Medusa poem, is that something that you actually conveyed to him, or you were just more brave enough to write about?
That one is specifically for people who feel like they need a voice, right? Sometimes I think I don't express myself fully because I don't ever really feel the need to explain myself to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was telling you earlier, I'm doing something that's different for me. I don't ask anybody. I'm not about to explain myself to you. I said what I said, and have a great day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
have a great day.
All right. But I'm learning that sometimes you do have to, you got to stand on that and be able to explain it to people, you know? So that one is more about building that strength within me.
Mm-hmm.
The Love or Lust one, that is something that
That's the one.
He's never even heard that one, the person that it's about. So I think that's the truth that I'm braver to say in poetry form. And other things as well, like things that's happened in my life that again, as I was going through today, I'm just like, ooh. Mm-hmm. So, I don't even know, like, some of those, most people haven't even ever heard because it was just about me getting it out, I guess. And I think that if I was to perform it, it would kind of, you know, if I freeze, I would freeze and I would revert into like the person who did not even show, you know.
Do you think that feeling of you freezing is just in your head?
Sometimes it's literal. Like I'll go silent, like mute, like you wouldn't hear a peep out of me, you know. So yeah, and it's kind of even happening right now when I can't really find the words. It's a freeze. It's not a fight or flight. It's like just shut it up.
Yeah, you don't have the words. You don't have the words.
But it's like I don't know. I think that me writing does help me get out some things that are harder for me to conceptualize emotionally. And I think I'm a very emotionally intelligent person. But when I'm writing it down, it's kind of like, okay, can you explain why you feel like that? You know?
So is it more of you explaining to yourself and being more self-aware of you than you trying to explain yourself to somebody else and you're not even quite sure?
I think it's me explaining myself to me, but if someone else was to read it, they understand it.
Okay.
You know? So that's how it is to me when I read it. It's like, okay, you could really feel that from this. You're gonna understand that this is the place my mind was in, my body was in as it came out of me.
Yeah. So are you at times afraid to see that part of yourself?
Very much.
Why? Like that's the shadow work.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of that part?
Sometimes. Why? Because it's like you can't hide that truth. That truth is gonna stay with you. It's like it's in you even when you're not paying attention to you. Like you said, like it's a shadow, right? And it's not like I'm afraid of my shadow self sometimes. I'm afraid of my truth sometimes. And as someone who doesn't bank on having to talk about a lot of stuff and who isn't really always like I don't really care too much about other people's perception, to put it out there so that people could perceive me in a different kind of way on a deeper level, that's scary. That's very scary. But when I do it in a way that even when I'm writing to myself, I'm just like, whoa, girl, you kind of get it in there.
Because that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming more of the self part.
Yeah.
You know, because you can be coming with yourself before you're even comfortable with even trying to put that in.
Because I'm working on something right now. Whenever I just keep stopping because I was writing it and I just started crying. I said, okay, you gotta get back into work. You gotta go right back on the clock.
So these are triggers. That's healing.
Yeah. It's doing something. It's healing me, or
it's getting it out.
It is, but I'm scared of that. I'm scared of like I don't know, like you know when people be like you scared of your success?
Yes,
like, to get
because highest self. And the thing is like, in those moments, nobody's there with you but you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with, let me know if you right?
I think I'm gonna go get some method seriously in a second, but y'all, these spasms is going.
Yeah. I'm
That's okay. It's okay.
I think it has a lot to do with what I said earlier about losing connection and stuff. And when you're perceived, that you kind of are open to lose a lot that you care about. And I don't want that. And it's not that I'm a fake self or anything. I'm just kind of a measured, I'm very measured, very, very sure of what I'm saying and how I'm showing up. So when I'm kind of like writing it down, again, like I'm writing it so that I understand it. But if someone else was to see it, they could put themselves in that place. And it's deep in a different way sober. That pushes me to stop. Like, okay, are you ready for this? Are you ready to really go down that hole with yourself? And then I have to be accountable to it too. Like, if I write this down and I'm being honest with myself, that means I have to be accountable to what I tell myself is just going forwards. And I'll be standing on it. So as someone who knows that she's going to do what she say, I'm picky about that.
Yeah, you should be. You should be. I love that. So y'all, give me like 4 minutes. I'm gonna go upstairs and grab some stuff in my bag. If you haven't noticed, I'm really having back spasms right now. I think my sciatic nerve is acting up. So another reason why I love these couch conversations, I have to get cute. I'm literally in my house shoes if y'all cannot see my hands. I didn't have to put on makeup. I don't have to do my hair all fancy or anything like that. I'm just really, really comfy. But it's everyday stuff that happens that we never talk about. I think sometimes, show up strong, but like it's like I can kick on my tail sometimes. Yeah. These are the moments, and we just push through. So I'm pushing through, but I'm gonna go get some medicine. Okay, guys.
Put another eye drop in.
She's gonna get eye drops, but we're not going anywhere. We're still live, so yeah. Okay. I got it. I was scared. Like, hold on, is it gonna let me up without spasms? So there is. Okay, maybe not. I was like, gonna be like, there's trash.
It's back there.
Okay, you seen it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready.
Take your time. Be careful. Much better. Artificial tears for the win. And you all who love. My sister just messaged me. Wait, I still have my eyeliner. Let's turn it on. My girls. My girl's 30th birthday is coming up. Happy birthday, baby. Grande. So much, baby. I love you down. My chosen family birthday. said she always take care of her people. Always. Always. I have not ever, I know I won't ever be at any other things, but she don't take care of her people. So it's just like what she do, regardless of the side right. She shows up for people. Shout out to my house. Bop, bop. Oh, so you made an episode of Cha-Cha. You know that. Cute. What you said? I'm scared to see them. Watch it later. I don't know. Bop, bop. What was this? Oh. Where? Anti-way. Ooh. Whoa there, baby. Honey, honey. See it's stuck. Look at me. Look at me. Shit.
And I'm back.
Yeah, just like that, back in business.
Y'all. It's like Attica is like no joke.
But that's the nerve that like those like they just shoot up your back from your hip area.
Yeah. And so what it does, I just need to sit down. Ooh. Okay. We're doing good timing. How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? Are y'all still tuned in? Because I haven't checked. So for my next question, Famatta. Good. Who were you before poetry? And who are you becoming because of it?
I've written poetry for a very, very long time. From my childhood.
Thank you. Thank you. Light came past. See, security come through. This is why I think security. That's why I do all the things. I'm trying to tell you, you gotta take care of your people. They will take care of you. Okay. Man, so sweet. Y'all, so we put this on the camera. Y'all gonna watch me put this on my bag. A little bit. Just a little. So yeah, we listening. So who are you becoming poetry? And who are you becoming because of it?
I've written poetry like from childhood to present.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I can't remember a time when I wasn't writing. And I kept a lot of it to myself, but it was like I was talking about earlier, it was a way for me to kind of get my things out of me. And everyone would just always see me with a book and like with my writing book. So they're like, oh, Famatta's like, you're gonna be a writer, you're gonna be an author. And I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not. I'm just expressing myself. Y'all don't want to hear about it, so this is where it's gonna happen at. And frequently I did like express it to people, like I did read it to some people, and they did like it, but I was just kind of like, that don't feel right. I don't feel like it's supposed to, you know. And I didn't have the words back then to say that it don't feel right. I just stopped doing it because I'm like, I don't want to, you know. But what I can say is who is making me become. It's making me a lot more confident in how I show up, and it's kind of forced me to do the things that I enjoy doing, right? So I'm gonna take it back. So like when I found you at that Finger Snaps and Poetry Chats at Soul to Go, Instagram be doing all the work for me. Like, it'll just be like, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Of course, I'm like, wow, following poetry pictures and stuff, but it starts advertising things happening near you. And that's how I felt it that day. I had literally got off of work that day, and I was like, all right, let me go to a poetry event. And I did not expect to speak that night, but you kind of encouraged me. You're like, go ahead, put your name down. I'm like, all right, let's see what happens.
Yes.
And it's making me kind of show up for myself. So it's going to keep growing for me, and I'm excited, I'm nervous, but I'm ready. Gotta do it scared, like we were saying.
Y'all, I had to go off camera and put this lighter pain patch on my back because I didn't realize that I need to really take my pants buckle down. I do all the things. But hopefully it kicks in like some. Hold on. Let's see. So poetry is making her a better person, guys.
It is. It's making me nicer too. I mean, it's not making me nicer. It's actually kind of making me a little bit meaner. Because I'm constantly told, oh, you so nice, and I'm not a mean person, but it's making me meaner a little bit. I think it's because I know like I'm really giving you a piece of me, and I gotta be careful with that a little bit. So yes, making me show up for myself, and when you're showing up for yourself, you're just kind of really you're gonna be a little bit different in how you talk about you and how you talk to other people. So it's making me a better person overall, though. I am a better provider.
Is it because you feel like confident, more in tune with who you are, and to be able to stand firm in that when you're out?
When especially when I perform, which is rare, but it is making me stand firm on that. Um, it's making me so like when you're building your confidence and you're kind of like you feel like it's a mask or something that you're just doing to go out into the world. And when I go on stage or when I'm performing, it doesn't feel like a mask because like there's like imposter syndrome. It doesn't feel like an imposter. It feels like this is something that you've been doing for a long time, something you've always had interest in, and you get to let it be a part of you instead of being observant of your life.
I love that. I love that.
I'm grateful for it. So.
I love that. So you say you don't perform often, which is crazy because have y'all heard her poetry? Like it's so bomb. Like even when I just posted you the other day, you made this statement. You were like, you were speaking about God's beauty and how He creates things. So one of the things you said is or how the mountains are so high that even the sun doesn't touch its snow. Like that imagery was so crazy for me because like we never think about that.
Right.
Like so I was like she had to be in like that writing headspace for that type of imagery to even come to you or even be traveling right on the mountain or on a plane right to see that.
I wish. I was in that headspace. Like that was one of those times when it was flowing out of me and I didn't even realize it until I read it back. I was like, oh, that's actually real because you know how they be like the snow crested peaks of the mountain? It's above the clouds, it's closer to the sun yet. It's that cold up there. It don't melt. That's one of my I think that's one of the ones where I was kind of doing like a series of when we're talking about like how do you feel and trying to be objective about my feelings and then being able to really step into like okay, how does it make you feel? Because I was one of the two of them, and it made me grateful. It made me grateful that beauty can like exist in like direct opposite of something else. Like what they call duality. It's duality, and it made me like realize like I'm not one layer. I'm not just who people were like. I'm not just that one thing. I'm a multitude of things existing at the same time, and it's all God beautiful. So thank you for posting that. I was listening to it. I said, oh, I did do that time. Oh wow, okay.
Yes.
When I'm with you, I could do it. I'll still be nervous and stuff, but I'll be performing when I come here.
You should. Like you're so gorgeous. Like first of all, you're beautiful to the eye, right? You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like you just represent culture, just even like how you dress, how you carry yourself, all the things, but in a very beautiful, elegant way. And then when you speak, I love, your poetry and your words because again, it speaks to that part of the culture that is sophisticated, that is articulate, that is intelligent, that is black excellence. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have enough women or even men. We don't have enough people in our spaces, in these spaces, that are saying, I see you. I I want to hear more of you. You are inspiring to me. You know what I'm saying? So I know that you're inspiring, you know what I'm saying, to others. You know, not that it takes a lot to inspire me or anything, but I do think it takes like a special kind of person or different kind of words for me to stop and say, "Ooh," you know what I'm saying? And you have that thing that I personally feel like people crave more of, which is exactly why I wanted to have this conversation with you. Because I feel like, you know, they are here for it. They are commenting, they are here for it. Yeah. So trying to get this bag together. Kind of getting it together a little bit. We done took some meds. It's working a little bit. Or I just took them and just put the patch on. So
I like that you also said that like when I do present, it gives the to the culture, like to the black excellence and all. I'm just like, that's real, because I love my black people. I love black people, and I want to represent black people everywhere I go. Like, I want to represent my heritage. I want to represent my mom, my family, and just the overall black diaspora. Like, and again, like layers. Like, we're not just this, we're not just that, and we can be everything all at once, just like anybody else. I want to give that.
And it's like you said, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that. And, you know, there's so many, you know, oftentimes I feel like, especially today, our young girls don't have enough, you know, female role models to look up to. They're, you know, the rappers, you know, no shades to the girls, you know, but there's, you know, our Nickies and our Mays, you know, and our Cardis. And it's like, you know, well, what happened to the MC Lights and the Latifahs and the Unity, you know, and the Rhapsodies, and, you know, all of these women are still around, but I'm talking about today, who are the young people gravitating to?
Right.
And we need more of those faces.
Yeah, it's because it's like people, the internet kind of makes people crave that level of attention. And the girls who are talking more about sexualized things, they get more attention because we're sexualized creatures. And again, like you said, it's no hate, and I'm always here for it. So I'm always down to work with those together.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we have this Friday. I'm not Cardi talk about politics with you all day. Maybe just talk about all the businesses with you all day. You know, well, we make you out of this because I don't know what's happening with you. I don't know. That's my business. Right. So, like, I think that being I don't even necessarily want to say like a role model, but being someone who another person could feel something from that makes them want to be a different or a better version of themselves, to tap into something of themselves that they didn't necessarily see, like, oh, I could try that or whatever. Because people tell me, be like, a lot of black people don't do that. And I'm like, well, I'm black, I'm doing this, so automatically a black person could do it. Like, that's how I see it.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, again, we need more people like you. I just love it. I just love it. So, I already asked you to join touch base on it. But, okay. So, this is my last question. But we want the, you know what?
You have really good questions too. Like, they really make me like think about my whole existence in poetry. And I appreciate that. Because I just begin it out and I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. Let's take a step back and kind of look at it.
Well, thank you. I wanted to be intentional in asking these questions. For starters, I've been on a few interviews of my own recently, right? So I definitely didn't want to ask you some of the same questions that I have been asked, right? But I also wanted to just kind of challenge myself with the questions that I ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, I have been a host before. of my radio show and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But it's like, I have to challenge myself in everything that I do too, right? It's like, you know, I'm a host of Finger Talks and Poetry Chats, but then also somebody's going to be a host of a podcast. So how many podcasters are going to sit and or, you know, live streams are going to sit, and the first question is going to be, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right.
I just was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, because everything has been like, it's been able to be expounded on, and I appreciate that because I could sometimes be very short and brief. Like I said, like I don't really explain it a lot. So when you ask me something that I have to explain on, I appreciate it because I do enjoy having conversation and stuff, and I enjoy being in your presence. And you're a very inspirational person. You're a very light heart person, and I tell you all the time, there's a go unseen and felt, and I think that our purpose as people is to connect with people, and to have connected with you means a lot to me. You are making me into a better version of myself.
That means so much to me.
I tell everybody, yeah, I'm gonna always support you. I'm gonna always do anything that I can to show up for you as well. So thank you.
That means so much to me. You know, I really do try to do my best to just kind of like be a light, you know, where I can. And the reason is because I didn't have that. And where I did get that from, it was like, I had to take it from this foster home, that foster home. Like I was at court yesterday, prepping because I have a trial coming up, right? And one of the things that I explained is that I've never went to the same school consistently except for my high school, which is the same high school for all 4 years. But prior to that, every school year I was going to a different school. So I was always the new girl, you know, and so that can do a lot for a child because they're not stable. You don't have childhood friends, these people that you grow up with.
Right, like you're constantly losing everything that you can touch.
Yeah.
Around for like maybe a year at most, because one of my friends, this person who I did care about very, very much, she was constantly, you know, all throughout her childhood, but I was a constant for her. Like I was always there for her. So having that, I understand the importance of it, especially before high school.
Yeah. That's why FSPC is actually so important to me, for that sense of family, for that sense of community, for that sense of friendship, because I did move around like that, you know, and even we all know in high school, right? You know, me and the girls were so cool and whatnot, but it's like, you know, everybody drifted apart, you know, go their separate ways, do their own thing. But there's nothing like family. There's nothing like community. There's nothing like that 20 or 30 year friendship. And mind you, I do have friends that I've been friends with for like 20 years too, right? So thank God for that. But even with that said, this is so important to me because when you talk about healing and trauma and the things that we hide and don't want to talk about, because growing up, a lot of that, you know, when we were in elementary school especially, when you come back from the weekend and your Monday writing and they're like, oh, you need to write what you did in your journal, what you did over the weekend. Well, in my journal, I was lying because I never wanted to be like, well, my stepdad shit out of my mom over the weekend, and then I got put into a foster care. They split everybody up. I had freaked out because I wanted to be with my siblings.
Right.
They had to call my grandmother who was in a whole other city. Long story short, I just got some good sleep last night, and then I had to be up this morning. I don't even know who's coming to pick me up or what house I'm going to, but I'm here. That's not the shit that I wanted to write about.
Right.
So I would lie. So this is important to me because we can be who we are. We can share our stories. We can be authentic.